You can glue them back on later. Amen. Come on, ladies. Where we at? Don't leave me out here by myself. Your husband, your boyfriend know that you didn't grow those. We added them. That's all right. That's all right. Y'all got to talk to me. We got to be live in here. All right. We got the worship in, and now it's time for the bread. We about to break some bread in the spirit. Amen. So look to your neighbor and say resistance training. The process to the promise. Now, V, I need you to come up here real quick for me. I need you to meet me up here. Eric, I need you to meet me up here real quick. Real quick. Come on. Run. Right here. We have 2 athletes. What'd you play in high school, college? Basketball. What'd you play? Football. So here we have 2 of our finest specimens here. We have 2 athletic gurus here. So I need y'all to just do one apiece, probably at the same time. Show us what it looks like to do resistance training. Just give us one of the exercises. What does that look like? Show me. In your Sunday's best. Do you have one? Do you have a big? So tell me. Yeah, let's see this.
So basically, resist.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna use your jacket. This is deep. Let me move this.
And she was basically, I'm resisting, and she's running, basically building up, not just stamina, but also building muscle, building her fast twitch muscle stuff.
And do it full out. Go ahead. Come on. You got on your J's or whatever those are. Your Nikes. Come on. Do it full out. Hey! Get him for Jesus! Hey! Thank y'all so much. Hey! Give them a hand. That's what I'm talking about. Don't ask me to go to the gym with them. It is not happening. They are both crazy. They are crazy. When people be working out and you don't, you look at other people that work out like they're crazy because they be doing some serious. So you're like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm just working out. I'm like, that don't look like working out. It look like you gonna have a hernia and you like it. So, I'm all right. No, I'm kidding. So, what they just showed you was something around her waist as she ran, as Eric was the anchor holding it. And she was running, build against resistance. How many of us feel like that is sometimes our life, that we are pushing against something but we ain't going nowhere? Oh, isn't that frustrating? You feel like, okay, God, I understand that life is not always going to be easy, but you told me to do this, so why is it so hard for me to do what you said for me to do? I feel like I'm going against something. Something's pulling me as I'm trying to run with the vision. As I'm trying to run with my marriage. Running meaning doing what God has called you to do. I'm trying to run in my business. I'm trying to run in my purpose. I'm trying to run in my finances. I'm trying to run in my desire to cultivate life. I'm trying to run, but and you told me to run.
All right. Amen.
You said, write down the vision, make it plain so that you may run with it, then read it. But every time I'm trying to run, I can't get nowhere. Or are you? Or are you? Because you got to understand that here we are in the army of the living God. We're soldiers. Why would we be so immature to think that he's going to put us on the battlefield without proper preparation? We have to go through resistance training. Resistance training. Let me explain to you guys what resistance is and then what resistance training is. This is deep. Resistance is the attempt to prevent something by action or argument. Write that down. The attempt to prevent something by action or argument. Can y'all repeat after me? Say, the attempt to prevent something by action or argument. Now check this out. That was the first definition. The second definition, as being in the body of Christ, we have to be resilient and possess resistance as well. So the second definition says the ability not to be affected by something, especially adversely. Repeat after me. Say, the ability not to be affected by something, especially adversely. Wow, 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 wow. So God, you telling me that you want me to be feeling like I'm being held back or even sometimes pulled back and I'm not supposed to respond? Or are you telling me not to be affected? Well, how am I supposed to be affected when my car won't start? How am I supposed to not be affected when my child keeps getting sick? How am I not supposed to be affected when my relationship keeps on going around in a cycle, back and forth, on the rocks, off the rocks, on the rocks, off the rocks? How am I not supposed to be responding when my finances continue to hemorrhage? How am I supposed to, what are you talking about, God? How am I supposed to do this? But he says, the ability not to be affected by something, especially adversely. Amen. Amen. Resistance training, however, this is deep. Y'all ready? The definition of resistance training is the form of exercise that improves muscular strength and endurance. Y'all missed that. It is the form of exercise that improves muscular strength and endurance. So as V was up here being held by the makeshift band and she's running, don't be frustrated that you're not going anywhere, because you aren't meant to necessarily move from this spot in this moment because it's exercise. It's exercise. And the exercise is supposed to improve your muscular strength and endurance. It's not to break it down. It's to improve you. It's to build you up. During a resistance training workout, you move your limbs against resistance. Provided by your body weight, by gravity, by bands, by weighted bars or dumbbells. And let's talk about what a weight is. A weight is a heavy object, especially one being lifted or carried. If you are in a season of pressure, it means that God has a heavy promise for you. If you are in a season of pressure, that is telling you, it is a symbol, it is a divine direction to the weight of what your promise is getting ready to be. So we have to understand that we're in resistance training because there's a process to the promise. I want you to turn in your word to James 1:2-8. Now this is going to be the basis. I want you guys to eat and sleep and breathe this. I mean, because this right here is the foundation for what's going to get you through your next 2 months. This right here, we have to get this down deep on the inside of us, people of God. And it's James 1:2-8. Will you be able to put that up? Oh, there we go. I'm going to read it from here. It says, "Consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters." Hey. "Whenever you experience," is anybody right here right now? Is anybody, I mean, because we are at the Salt Life Experience. Is anybody experiencing anything? Can you just talk back to me? Are you experiencing something?
Yes.
And you just kind of tired of experiencing things? You just want to be? Can I just be for a little bit? Can I just not adult today? I'm tired of the experience, okay? So here we are. James is saying, consider it a great joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you experience various trials. Can I ask you another question? Isn't it a variety of things that you're experiencing right now? It's not just one thing. It's like a fruit tray. It's like a muffin tray. It's like, banana, nut, raisin, chocolate, lemon poppy seed. You're like, I got a lot going on right now. It's various. It's not just one thing. It's various trials, various experiences. Go to the next slide. Wow. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. Now, I want you to understand something. That obviously, from understanding the text, he's referring that the testing is the various experiences of trials that you're going through. So that is the testing. This here is a test. Pass the test. We got to pass the test. Go to the next part. But endurance must do its complete work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. But endurance must do its complete work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Next slide. Now, this is deep right here. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask who? God. Your auntie cousin them? No. The barber?